What's up, nation? We've all said the word before. We might have even lived in one, or drive past it every morning on the way to school or work. What I'm talking about is the hood. In this episode, we explore the biggest, most pervasive problem in our disenfranchised communities, and also what is the master plan for actually transforming our hoods. Tune in. What we have found is that what keeps people complacent is not the inability to move, but the lack of information. So tune in with us as we both ask and answer a question that we've heard for quite some time now. What's up, nation? All right. Hi, I'm standing here with Commissioner Stephen Jackson, who on February 26th proposed an ordinance, a potential ordinance for a housing trust fund. And so I wanted to bring him here. We're actually in the Queensboro neighborhood to talk about what in the world even is a housing trust fund, and to also get his thoughts on why did this not pass. So welcome to the show, Stephen.
Hey, thanks, Amara. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So can you tell us a little bit, for those of us who don't know, and I didn't know before February 22nd, what a housing trust fund is?
Okay, a housing trust fund is sort of like if you think of it from a personal perspective, it's almost like a children's trust fund where you want to sort of build up an account for your small child so that when they grow up, they can have some funds that they can leverage. So they can either do college, or they may be able to buy a house or something like that. And so from our perspective, a housing trust fund basically allows us to take revenue that we have, put it in a fund that's designated for it, and then we go out and we can leverage different public and private dollars to bring into our community to do revitalization. You can do mixed-use development where you have private business like a grocery store or a shop or something like that to revitalize the community.
We're begging, that's all it is. We need to create our independent, self-reliant economic platform.
So why would this not be a good idea? I mean, February 22nd, it didn't pass.
It did not pass. We missed the vote by one vote. I've moved beyond the whole why as to how do I get that particular commissioner to support it. His understanding or his explanation to me was he just didn't understand what it was and what it meant to the community. And, to a degree, I'll accept some responsibility. Although we have been talking about this since November 2017, maybe I didn't do as much education and outreach to that particular commissioner, and I've doubled my efforts at this point to do that so that when we bring it back again, there should be no excuses. I've always said that if somebody has questions about it, let's reach out, let's talk about it. For folks who may be watching, who political theory and organizing is not their everyday world. They're just an everyday person, but may have some, as you say, disposable income, right? What can they do tomorrow to move us toward pooling our wealth?
Agriculture. There's a lot of land out here, and we do need to eat 3 square meals a day. If you want to invest something, put your resources in agriculture. Get some land, grow your food, and this way you hire. But this meeting is also important. We should own homes also. You gotta own homes, you gotta own buildings. There's no other way. So what's the one tangible thing? I say agriculture. Second step is buy homes. You can pull your resources together, buy homes. Not individually, collectively. Do you know all these groups in New York? We're talking Arab, Ashkenazi, Chinese, Korean, Syrian, Afghanistan. All these people, they form like a susu. They pull their resources together. They help one, he gets established, he helps the other. That's the one tangible thing we can do right now.
Okay, so speaking of questions, what can our audience do if they're interested in finding out more, or who may have a family member who could benefit from the Housing Trust Fund? Give us some ways that they can find out more information and get plugged in here in Shreveport.
Okay, well, if you go and look on our agenda, or if you go to my Facebook page, or if you go to www.sjacksonforcaddo.com, I have actually a fact sheet on there that talks about what a housing trust fund. There's a Q&A or FAQ, frequently asked questions. that talks about what a housing trust fund is, who's eligible, how can the funds be used, what's the benefits of the program. It details a lot of things that people do not know about housing trust fund, because we want this to be an educational issue for the community and hopefully get them behind this particular initiative.
And what that means to the average person, even if you're not thinking about starting a big business, having a property is so much more important than even the cars we're financing. You know, the cars we'll go buy off the lot cost more than what it costs to buy some of these houses in our neighborhoods. So it's too easy to do. There's not really a lot of reason not to do it. And even when you go to the car lot, they're looking for things like a home that you own to determine your interest rate. So you're talking about, you know, $100 difference in your car note or anything else you go finance and buy.
Well, Stephen, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
with
you,
us. And for our audience, I mean, obviously this sounds like a great idea. So my question is, what's up, Shreveport?